Welcome, Musto0063 back once again to press on with Mega Man 7. And of the 3 stages left, there is a very simple choice as to which is going to be the easiest. So next up is Shade Man. We teleport in the dark, but it's okay. The clouds part, a full moon's out, and we can see where we're going. Great, another wonderful start to a level. Waiting in the second screen are these zombies. They gradually fall apart as you try to kill them, but on some occasions you'll find you don't even need to bother. It just depends where they emerge. Now here, watch out for the disembodied heads of the 3rd, 5th and 7th suits of armour. Or things like that will happen. Get close enough to make the head fall off, then shoot away at it quickly once its eyes are open. A climbing section with more crows. It's probably best to wait for the crows to shoot at you while you're on the ground, jump to avoid their pellet shots and then pummel away at them. I took a few liberties here by sneaking in some shots before they attacked, but do be wary. If they shoot while you're jumping to attack them, they'll probably get you. Bubble bats. Although the last thing I need right now is a reminder of Woodman stage. As in Mega Man 2, you can only attack them when they emerge from their cocoon states. And here we have to deal with them in conjunction with these presses. Obviously, don't get caught underneath them or stand on them for too long, thanks to the spikes present on the ceiling. And that brings us to the mid-boss, Van Pookie. Let's just call it a pumpkin from now on, shall we? There are actually 2 ways to kill it, and different paths through the remainder of the level open up depending on how it dies. This time around, I decided to take out the eyes of the giant pumpkin. Slowly, I might add. Don't worry, you'll know when you connect. The eyes light up and it's difficult to describe, yet obvious enough when you're playing the game, noise that sounds if your hit counted. You will unfortunately find though that a lot of the time your shot won't be sufficiently accurate and it'll bounce harmlessly off. In case you're wondering, the other way to destroy it is to shoot the smaller pumpkin when it emerges from the bigger pumpkin. And I will obviously demonstrate that a little bit later. But we're done. And attacking the eyes of the bigger pumpkin forces it to crash through the right-hand side wall. Now, all things equal, this is not the way I would usually fight the mid-boss, but in the interest of collecting a certain item and showing this path off, here I find myself. And oh, I hate these knights, especially the ones at the top of this screen. Now here's me unsuccessfully trying to grab this one up. I thought if I could quickly do it with Rush Coil, then I would, but alas, you can't. Rush Jet would possibly work, or you can get it from above, but not the way I foolishly tried. The fact that I tried at all should back up what I just said a moment ago. I don't usually go this way. If I did, I would have known not to bother with Rush Coil. And this is all rather clumsy and annoying, isn't it? Told you I hate those knights. And here's another one. No, really. When the full moon is out, the knights become wolves with 12 times the health they previously had. And luckily, I had a run through where you actually got to see it transform. Some very non-threatening shield attackers, and a rather ominous looking portrait of Dr. Wily here. If you use Rush Search under the portrait, you'll find the Energy Balancer. Very useful for managing your weapon meters, but as I'm sure you all know by now, I don't tend to like playing these games using a whole bunch of Robot Master weapons, so this isn't all that useful for me. And given that I think this is the more annoying of the 2 paths you could take from the mid-boss, that's why I usually just go the other way. And here is where the paths meet up. Darn, I was careless. I feel so stupid to have been defeated so easily. Maybe I should give up and leave Wily to you. No, we're a team. Dr. Light will be glad to fix you up. Thanks. I'm glad I have a friend like you. So Mega Man offers Bass a safe place for him to stay. I'm sure that generosity will only lead to good things. is Shade Man, another somewhat cyclical attacking boss. He starts off by hovering up into the shady area at the top of the screen and dive bombing at Mega Man to try to grab him in his talons. Sliding out of the way is always a good idea, but you need to be a bit careful about the angle at which you'll make Shade dive. You won't want him to swoop down either to the left or right very much, as he becomes much harder to avoid. Instead, if you can position yourself under him when he's about to dive, he'll only then do so more or less straight down, and it's much easier to slide out of the way. Now after a certain amount of time, and this is never completely predictable, he'll drop down in one of the two corners. From there, he'll shoot 2 stone rays, which freeze Mega Man in place, follow that up by firing 2 small sound waves which bounce off the walls, and follow that up by firing 2 big noise waves. They'll always be in that order, and hence, when you're familiar with the pattern, it's reasonably straightforward to dodge everything. Now here's me demonstrating, not royally screwing up at all, no. What happens if Shade catches you? Being the vampire he is, he sticks his fangs into Mega Man and starts draining life. He also gains life himself at the same time, so best to avoid this happening. The Noise Crush generates a powerful sound wave, doesn't it? Yes, and you can amplify the wave by absorbing the reflected wave with your body. I undeservedly get Noise Crush. That was an awful playthrough of the level and a fairly disappointing fight against Shade Man. And on that basis, I could fully expect you to think a perfect run might be quite difficult for me. However, I can of course choose a different pathway through the level, and that's what proved to be a big help. Thanks for tuning in for the perfect run. And since I'm going to be taking a different path through half the level, I will actually have a bit to talk about this time around. And in case you're wondering, yes, that stupid first crow did get me the very first time I tried the perfect run. It's one of the quickest restarts I've ever had to do. I also messed up once on this screen, not because I walked into one of the heads, but because one of the heads walked into me. I shot too soon, all 3 pellets, the maximum on screen at one time, ricocheted off a helmet. I tried to shoot again, but was not able to kill it before it ran into me. And one foul up on this crow ambush screen. As described during the Let's Play, I tried to be too greedy, jumped at the worst possible time, and landed on a pellet. For perfect run purposes at least, I never made that mistake again. This screen was fine. So the pumpkin mid-boss. In terms of dodging its movement, slide under its 3rd jump. In terms of avoiding the seeds the smaller pumpkin spits out, for one attack they'll literally be spat at you, and all you need to do is stay in the corner and slide under the one coming at you horizontally. For the other, stay in the corner and jump, if necessary, to avoid any threatening arcing seeds. Actually a pretty simple fight, and as you hopefully saw, much quicker to take out if you attack the smaller one. In doing so, it breaks apart the floor on the left-hand side of the screen. Yes, I know what is potentially behind that Sniper Joe. I'll visit that area in a later video. Now the knights on this path are far less annoying. It's the terrain that helps you out. If you just hang back to the left and shoot, you should be fine. Now here's a screen that caused so many problems. It's nearly pitch black and you can't see where the floor is. Thunderbolt would be very useful here and actually illuminates the screen for a short period of time, so you can see where you're going. Alas, on a perfect run, I don't have that luxury. So a lot of gradual memorisation needed, although enemies dropping items on safe ground doesn't half help, and I had a pretty nice run there. Then we come to the zombie elevator, and again a fair few number of outtakes here. The idea is that zombies drop out of the windows, but you need to be very quick in taking out some of the combinations they throw at you, particularly the one where 2 emerge simultaneously, one from each end. And unfortunately, there's not just one zombie horde to fend off. Admittedly, this may not look too bad, and it really shouldn't be, but it is surprisingly easy to make a mess of things. The top of the elevator is where the paths branch back together, and we'll have to sit through the cutscene again. Or skip ahead 20 seconds if you prefer. Ah, Shade Man. It should never be all that difficult, yet you always make me nervous. And in case you hadn't noticed, his tell for dive bombing is to briefly pause in the air. As soon as you see that, slide away. So for this bit, jump, 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 jump again over the recoil, jump, slide. Works every time. Now, unfortunately, Shade did get me once. I have a rather annoying tendency to twitch and accidentally jump when I want to slide. So he grabbed me, and that was the end of that. And if not to perfectly demonstrate that, watch out for the same twitch here. Luckily, I got away with it. And what with Shade only having one hit left, it doesn't feel like I would have been best pleased had I messed that up. Okay, so before the difficulty analysis, if you hold down a button, for me on the GameCube Anniversary Collection it's the B button I think, while selecting the Play Shade Man stage, you don't get the standard Mega Man 7 boss select screen jingle, or indeed the regular stage music. You get Ghosts and Goblins music instead. Now, this was never that huge of an Easter egg for me. I've never played the game or the series itself, and to be honest, the only thing this really brings back memories of is the very first time I played I Want to Be the Guy, and got horrendously stuck on the set of graveyard screens, particularly the one with the protruding spikes at the bottom. I'm sure any I Want to Be the Guy followers know exactly which screen I'm talking about. I don't have a problem with it now, of course, but that first time, yeesh. Now, I'm not going to go all the way through the level. In fact, I'm going to stop at the pumpkin mid-boss, but hopefully I've showed this off sufficiently. And just in case you were wondering, no, the boss fight music does not change. It's still the same as always. Getting closer to the end of Mega Man 7, just 2 Robot Master stages left. And it's still a bit of a weird feeling to have a comparatively simple stage 6 down the road. For example, 6th in Mega Man 2 and Mega Man 4 respectively were Wood and Ring. Yeesh, I'm getting chills just thinking about them. Shade, on the other hand, only took 35 minutes to achieve perfection on. And only at the expense of 12 failed attempts, one of which on the Robot Master. As evidenced by my Let's Play, it had clearly been a while since I played this game. There is a lot that can catch you out during the level, if you're unprepared for what's coming. To be fair, I did take a route through the stage that I wouldn't ordinarily if I was seriously attempting a perfect run. I went the way I did to show off the second pathway, knowing that I would show off the other way during the actual perfect run, but still, it was way too clumsy a run for my liking. The pumpkin mid-boss can at times be a little annoying, sometimes I'll get caught out by its projectiles, and the zombie elevator throws you in a couple of tight spots where you really need to be on guard. But ultimately it was the darkness screen that proved to be the most costly for me. A lot of failures here trying to figure out where safe ground was. Once I played it enough times it was fine, but it wasn't half frustrating those first few attempts. As for Shade Man, not too bad, but I always seem to have a nasty tendency of jumping when I mean to slide during this fight. Not sure why, but I usually mess up at least once. Case in point, that final hit on the successful perfect run, I so nearly screwed that up. That being said, his attacks are easy enough to read. When he dive bombs at you, slide out of the way. When he drops to the ground and starts shooting at you, he'll always do so in the same pattern. So, once you know it, it's simple enough to avoid. Shouldn't therefore pose too many problems, but as said, I seem to get twitchy on this fight more than others, although that's purely my deficiency to overcome. I think the Scream of the Darkness was sufficiently frustrating in trying to map it out to prevent me maintaining my mellow feeling, but this still wasn't anywhere near enough to put me over the edge. The stats are very similar to Burst, so the same rating, 3 out of 10, applies to Shade Man. Overall, it probably is going to require a bit of level replayability in order to get comfortable with a no damage run, and I refer particularly to the Darkness screen, but as with most of the stage, once you know what you're doing, neither level nor Brewmaster are really all that bad. So that is 3/4 of the way through, but I am so not looking forward to either of these last two stages. Someone get me out of here. Turbo speed.